So if you haven't seen it, yesterday I did a video where I talked about all the problems going on with the game and how they could ultimately wind up fixing it. It wasn't intended to really be a rant. Me and my friend were just talking about it, and I turned it into a video as well. So you guys can check it out. Link is down below. The reason I wanted to bring that up is because this is an extension of that topic in that video. So a couple of things of note have happened in the time since then. We found out that they have been getting review bombed like crazy. I mean, last I looked at this, they were at 2.5. I don't know how many thousand pulls, how many thousand reviews they got to push it to 1.5. But they are now at 1.5 stars on the App Store. I'm sure that, look at this graph, that's disgusting. I'm sure it's not any better on iOS as well. I'm sure it's below 2%. This is crazy. And I wanted to kind of read some of the most recent feedbacks that we have here as it relates to this. And then we're going to pivot to one of the things that popped up on the Discord about how they're going to potentially fix it. So if this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe, hit that thumbs up, and all that fun stuff. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit the thumbs up. The goal for today is going to be 500 likes, and post down below what you guys think. Also, about 80% of viewers aren't subscribed. So again, make sure you subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you guys in more content after this going forward. All right, so here's some of the things that we do have here. I'm writing to express my concern regarding the recent updates to the game. The lack of rewards for dedicated players is disheartening and disrespectful for the Western audience. The rapid banner schedule makes it challenging for players to save resources, creating an unfavorable experience for both new and veteran players. I kindly request that the development team consider the community's feedback and make necessary adjustments to improve the overall gaming experience. All right. So Billy did reply to this, and they said, you know, we're sorry about that. Feel free to reach out to us, customer service, blah, blah, blah. Typical speak there. I want to go to the 1-star ratings here. Let's see what we have. I have played many gachas, and this feels like a greedy cash grab. Played since launch, and I've cleared all content. The game looks great, sounds great, has engaging combat, grind isn't too bad, etc. The problem is how much they're rushing content and how worthless your currency ends up feeling. Also, their idea of download miles from rewards was offering a paid banner for $30-ish. Yeah, that was a funny one. I don't know how many people remember that, but they hit, what was it, like 5 million downloads or something like that? And they did give out, what, one free multi? I think they gave out a free multi or 1,000 cubes, something like that. But they also did have a pay-only SSR guaranteed pull. So there's that. The game itself is good and really fun. We're not good. What's not good though is the developers and the way they're taking the game. They're putting up new characters, banners, and all the time without giving players a proper chance to catch up and get characters without spending money. In-game rewards are basically non-existent once you rush through the story and the other couple forms of content. If things are going to be rushed this way, compensation should be given to make up for it. Although this game is fun, it's progressing too fast, trying to catch up with the Japanese version without giving the adequate amount of summoning materials comparatively. What is the point of extremely hard endgame content if players are unable to get the strong characters that the content is designed for? So on that bit, they brought out a new piece of content, the tower. And unfortunately with the tower, I haven't sat down to try to do it yet because I want to do a video on it. Unfortunately, one thing I've heard about the tower though is that we don't really have the characters you need for the tower. Like, that's one of the things I'm hearing is that you need better characters that we just don't have, and there's a lot of them. And actually, one of them or some of them are coming out this week, but they're putting out 3 new gachas this week. So like, it's kind of hard to say go for all these gachas. As they mentioned earlier, there's not enough currency. After playing the game for a while, since release day, it falls short to my expectations. Number one, if you're not ready to pay for cubes, then it's almost impossible to build a team great or have the characters you want to. The auto combat sucks a lot, but I don't have the time to play manually every single round. 3, it gets repetitive and the devs dropping 3 events simultaneously, so you're stuck in the endless cycle of battles. Edit, wow, they are dropping 7 events now. I'm sure it's great for the game. Thanks for your feedback. Okay, so we're not gonna read anymore. I just wanted to kind of just read kind of how the community is feeling about the game. I'll say on the auto combat thing, there is a system. I don't know if it was implemented in this update, to be fair. There is a system where the game has a better AI because the AI is terrible currently. So basically the way that the community feels, if it wasn't clear, is that since they're rushing out all this stuff, there's not enough resources to go around to make up for it. So people are not able to keep up. I think that's the biggest deal here is people are not able to keep up. And I've already talked about how it's really crappy. It's really crappy for any other player to tell you, or for mods in the Discord to tell you, because that also happened, by the way. Mods that are there for the official Discord, people that, you know, are in some capacity involved with running this game, telling you that, oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just skip everything. Don't worry about it. This stuff gets added to general, but don't worry about it. Just skip it. Don't worry. Just summon for Teen Gojo. Just don't worry about it. Just skip everything. I hate that. I think that's so garbage. I think it's garbage. You should never ever design a game with that being the thought process if you're the people behind this game. And I frankly understand why people would tell other people that, because you have the foresight of, hey, well, we know what all the good stuff is, so obviously pull for the good stuff. Okay, well, what if somebody doesn't know what the good stuff is? What if they're not a part of the online community? Believe it or not, there's a huge majority for all these games that are not a part of the online community. Also, what if somebody just likes a certain character, like the Yuji that's coming out, but they also like Gojo? Like, now, an element to that too is, if you're a free player, and this is also true, you should never go into these games expecting to get everything. You just can't play that way. It's not how the games are designed. They are predatory by nature. They are designed to put you in a position through bottlenecks. Typically, it's resource farming, things like that. They're going to put bottlenecks. They're designed in a way to be predatory, to make you feel like you need to spend money. Their end game goal for all free players is to get you to convert into being a paid player. And if you're not going to do that, maybe you play the game long enough, have fun, share the game with your friends, and they become paying players. And then if it's a PvP game, you play the game long enough and you get beat up by the paying players, so they feel like they got more out of their investment. Or by getting beat up so much, you go, okay, fine, I'll buy a multi. This is what these games are for, right? Really what's predatory about it is that they're marketed to kids 14 or up or whatever, right? That's where it's predatory, especially because these kids don't know any better, right? If you're a 14-year-old, I'm sorry, you're still a kid. I don't care about literal terminology. You're a teenager, but to me, you're a kid. And that's not to disparage or make you feel bad. It is what it is. And when you get older, like double your age right now, you'll understand. Anyway, because I'm literally double the age. Anyway, so yeah, that's kind of where it is. So with that being the context, you can't go into this expecting to get every single thing as it comes out. However, I think what people aren't understanding is that the way that they're doing this also squeezes out paying players, right? Because paying players, if they're a light spender, if they were going to buy one multi on a banner, if they're going to put out 3 goddamn banners at once, dudes are not going to do that, right? Somebody working with a budget is not going to do that. So it's just kind of weird. And a lot of these games survive on their tippy top 0.001% of spenders that are uber millionaires that are going to drop thousands of dollars on every. And you know what? I have no problem with people doing that. I just think this is a weird game to do it on, even if you're a huge Jujutsu Kaisen fan, because there's not anything really to do in this game. You must really enjoy your box looking pretty, which if that's the case, more power to you. I have no problems with that. It's just a weird game. But regardless, the community feels like there's not enough resources, and I think that's fair. So let's just kind of go over some of the stuff. By the way, I've got to say this: if you're Billy, so the way I understand it with this game is SumZap made the game, they manage it in the Japanese version, and they have Billy managing it for the global version. And basically, Billy's not able to do anything without the approval of SumZap. In fact, it's so bad that, like, for example, one of the things people say is, if you're going to do all this, give us more cubes, more ways to summon. Apparently, they're not really able to do that because they don't want the Japanese player base to get mad, which I think is stupid because the Japanese player base didn't have to deal with this accelerated schedule, right? But they're not able to do that because they're not able to give out more cubes without the approval from SumZap, who runs the Japanese version, and just overall the game in general, right? Basically, they're outsourcing the work to Billy. So that's the way I understand it. Correct me if I'm mistaken on that. But I think that's pretty interesting. But Billy, if you're Billy, you've got to... the mods are kind of interesting because they are just kind of talking a lot. Like I talked about a comment from a mod earlier. Here's another one. So Private Dan, and I'm not super involved in the Discord. These were sent to me from Amon, so thank you, Amon, if you're watching. I appreciate it. I'm not involved with the Discord. I don't have time for it personally, but you know, so let me just rewind a second. They did a Discord call, from my understanding, with a lot of creators on this game, not like content creators in the game, right? No, I was not a part of that. Honestly, I didn't know about it until the last second, but I'm not involved in the Discord, so it is what it is. Maybe next time somebody will let me know and I'll know, but regardless, one of the things that they said was that, hey, they understand the grievances, and they're going to try to work on this. And then it's funny because the very next day we get a news data mine that, oh, hey, here's all this stuff, 3 gotchas at once. Okay, 3 gotchas in the span of a few days, right? Like, that's kind of what they're doing. But to be fair, despite what they said on that call, it takes time to relay that information and change a plan, right? People, I think, were expecting an instantaneous change. It doesn't work like that, right? It doesn't work like that. It takes time. And if it is true that they plan on, and I've heard this from Discord mods as well, or I've seen people tell me this from Discord mods, that their intention is to actually catch this game up to the Japanese version. Now, quick note on that, there is no explicit confirmation from the game itself within the game that, hey, we are going, here's our plan, this is what we're going to do, here's a timeline, a roadmap. They don't have that out, right? Saying that they're planning on catching up to the Japanese version by X date, which, by the way, if you're anybody with Billy, you need to get that published. If that is the plan, you need to let players know. You absolutely need to let players know. You need to produce a roadmap. It has to be done. But I understand, again, it takes time. So anyway, things are kind of weird, but let's look at this post. Listen, eggheads, this was just maintenance compensation. You will be surprised that we have lined up very soon. Well, we have lined up very soon. I hope it's enough for everyone to stop rioting. So we got, I think, 300 cubes for the update, which is nothing crazy. It's just a single, but that's, I mean, it was just for the maintenance that took place. It's nothing crazy, right? And there's more posts. LOL, this update for sure validates that I'm joining the 1-star review crew. The reply was, please wait until the weekend. So Private Dan is saying, you know, wait until the weekend. That was only the competition for the update. There's going to be more. And there was a spot, actually, I'm on here. He's the one that sent me this. They aren't allowed to. They can't change something that was fundamental to JP. I'm not sure what the context with that is, but it's probably something what I was saying, where that they're not able to really change stuff based on the game's global release if it didn't happen in JP. In terms of like the way that they give out currency, with note that they've changed the order and schedule of banners and stuff like that. It's just weird. The number one issue is lack of cubes. Y'all will be getting cubes. I can assure that. I can't say a date or an amount. All this was within, you know, like 5 minutes earlier today. So they're going to be giving out compensation. Now, since Private Dan's been on here talking a lot, I'd hope it's a meaningful amount. What's a meaningful amount to you? What do you think? What do you think a meaningful amount is? With also having the context that there's a real, and I mean real, chance that for New Year's, they are planning to release hidden inventory, which is the teen Gojo and all that stuff. There's a real chance they're doing that. And the funny thing is, maybe we'll know by then, but the Gojo, all the stuff out right now, will be gone too. Yuta will be gone. There's a real chance. So what do you consider to be adequate compensation for the grievances that the community has? And what do you think we need to hear? Do you think we'll hear a, hey, we understand your concerns, an in-game post, and maybe they'll have more transparency? I mean, ultimately, I think players would just like them to slow the hell down. But if the plan is to catch up, they can't do that. But something has to give. They're either going to piss everyone else off, risk shutting the game down, right? Because that's typically where this type of model goes. They're going to risk shutting the game down. Speed running to EOS, as people are saying, end of service. Or they're going to have to give more cubes. Like, something has to give. And if the what I'm thinking from Dan is that he's hyping this up, but it's more, I think we're gonna mess around and get one multi, right? I think we're gonna log in this weekend and get like a 3,000 cube bonus to shut us up. Is that all your review is worth? I'm not sure. I have myself not even reviewed the game. But to show my own dissatisfaction, I will review the game. And the funny thing is, um, I play the game daily. I actually like the game, and I want the game to succeed. It's a side game. I think that's kind of fair to say. I don't know that this game has enough content in it to ever be a true main game, but I like it. I play it a lot. I was actually kind of bummed out last night that they had maintenance because I like to log on right before bed, make sure I've got everything done, and I couldn't do it. So with that context, you know, I just want the game to be successful. And this is, in the short term, counterproductive to that. I mean, looking at it, where it's got 26,000 one-star reviews or whatever, it's never going to, you know, this game will never recover this number on this store. When this game, we're going to look back on this game like 3 years from now, and they'll have done everything perfect, and it'll still be like a 3.7. Like, it's never going to recover. I also wonder if they'll mess around and just start deleting some of these reviews. Maybe they'll file a grievance with like Google and have them deleted. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know. But yeah, I want the game to succeed. I just don't know if 3,000 cubes fixes anything. I think they've got to give either some of these characters for free, which they won't do. They've got to give 3,000 cubes, which is, I think, what they're going to do. Maybe they're going to give 10,000. I don't even know. To be honest, I don't know if 10,000 is enough. But they're going to treat it like it's enough. They're going to expect you to just shut up, right? I don't even know if that's enough, considering that this is what we have now, where the game's a month old and they've put out like freaking eight banners or something like that already. This is going to be a trend. We're going to have the same problem this time next month. Month after that, like, are we gonna get a monthly fund of cubes? Like, I don't know, right? So kind of weird, but I don't know what they've got to do here. There's a lot of things they've got to do. There's ways they can fix it, just ways they're not willing to do. So what do you guys think? Hope you guys enjoyed. Hit that thumbs up, and I'll see you in the rant video. Like I said, it's on the screen now.